The Dow is in the green as markets respond to news that the White House is pausing reciprocal tariffs on most countries. Here's what we know so far. The 10% across-the-board tariffs are still in effect. Those started overnight. The larger reciprocal tariffs are paused for 90 days, except for China. The president says he's raising tariffs on China to 125%. He said those tariffs will start immediately. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said today this is part of President Trump's long-term trade strategy.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China.
Treasury Secretary Bessent says they've heard from more than 75 countries looking to make trade deals. He says they need the 90-day pause to give them time to negotiate.
Each one of these is going to be a separate, bespoke negotiation. So we are confident that, having seen the other side of where this could go, and it was like I said last week, the market didn't understand those were maximum levels. The countries can think about those levels as they come to us to bring down their tariffs.
Well, stocks soared on the news of most tariffs being paused. The Dow surging to 2,000 points. Here's a live look at the big board right now. The Dow is up about 2,200 points, hanging around about 39,000, close to 40,000 points this afternoon. So let's take a look at our interactive stock heat map. This is brought to you by FinViz, showing the top 500 stocks in real time. And green means the stock is up, and you can see most of that board lit up in green on news of the tariffs being paused. Well, joining me right now to break down what happens next is Neil Mahoney. He is a professor of economics at Stanford. So let's start with the markets. They surged when the pause was announced. So is this enough to make up for some of those recent drops?
I mean, it's been quite a week, right? For viewers with a 401k, they saw their 401k turn into a 201k. Now it's back to a 301k. So things are heading in the right direction. But the amount of uncertainty and chaos, I think, is going to weigh on the economy for a continued amount of time.
So let's talk about the economy. President Trump did raise the tariffs on China to 125%. So what kind of impact could that have on our prices?
Look, so the way I think about it is Trump had placed both hands on the economic stove. He's lifted up one hand. That's good. But the other hand is not only still on the stove, he's pushed it down harder, right? That he's ramping up the tariffs with China. He's left in place the 10% tariffs on every country. As you showed in your clip, the Treasury Secretary, is now going to be planning negotiations with dozens of other countries, and we'll see what happens. But I think one thing is certain is that the next 90 days are going to be incredibly uncertain. So if you're an investor thinking about, investing in a company, if you're an employer thinking about bringing on workers, if you're a consumer deciding, whether to buy a car or upgrade some furniture, there is good reason to sit on the sidelines and wait for all of this to resolve. And when people sit on the sidelines, that slows the economy down. So choppy waters ahead for the economy.
Yeah, choppy waters ahead. That roller coaster ride will continue for the next 90 days. So strap him in. All right, Neil Mahoney from Stanford, thank you very much for joining us.
All right.
And again, we're following the markets very closely this afternoon, and CBS News will have a special report just after the closing bell starting at 1 o'clock.